I'm Andrew, and this is Ali. Our presentation for tonight is part of a service learning project for UVM, and it's entitled, "And You Thought Vermont Community Gardens Were Just for Growing Food." In it, we'll examine the trends of the state's burgeoning community garden movement.
We are going to share with you 4 stories of many that could be told about different community gardens throughout the state. The following slides tell the story of the experiences we had visiting these 4 models: a community farm, a cooperative housing garden, a rural allotment garden, and an urban allotment garden.
So the first garden we visited is Fresh Start Community Farm in Newport, Vermont. And this is a decentralized garden that aims to make involvement easy and efficient. Gardeners tend edible landscapes like this one, which used to be a mud parking lot, and the amount of produce each garden receives correlates to the number of hours they garden. Pictured here is Fresh Start's founder, Chris Flack, on the right, with garden organizer Jen and her parrot Molly. And organizers meet on Monday nights to discuss Fresh Start's developing gardens. They also use this meeting time to re-envision the potentials of a food-focused downtown Newport. So one event that the garden group recently had was Newport's Super Bowl, spelled S-O-U-P. This event brought chefs, gardeners, and residents downtown to enjoy local foods and live music, activating a colorful Friday night scene that would not have currently existed. It does not currently exist. And with more gardeners interested in joining this year and many more events planned for the summer, Fresh Start's vision and influence is really growing. Here's a photo of their next garden site. Below it is Chris Flack's description of his approach for imagining and creating new garden spaces.
Okay, next is Burlington Cohousing, which is located on East Ave. It is a group of houses and flats where tenants and homeowners share meals as well as responsibilities. At first, individuals maintained their own garden plot. Now there's a community-style garden in which a small group produces food for the larger housing community. Produce from the garden is used for meals that are shared together 2 to 3 times per week. Guests can also join in on meals like Andrew and I did when we visited for an interview with the gardeners. In the gardens, those that live in the co-housing have freedom to explore their own interests. Brian, on the left, usually leads work parties on Saturdays, but says there are some members of the community that are just compulsive gardeners. Peter is planning a sweet potato project for this summer and has started sweet potato plants all over the common housing area from cuttings of just one plant.
He actually gave us 2 of the plants.
The garden is about 4,000 square feet and has remnants of projects attempted by individuals in the community. There's a small cold frame, a dog poop composter, and a trellis for growing tall tomato plants. Brian emphasizes perennials and has just planted a row of grapevines of different varieties. In the rural town of Kucha, there's an allotment garden where each member maintains their own plot. You might think that a community garden space is not needed here, but not everyone in rural towns has ideal land for gardening. For example, some land can be too forested for a traditional vegetable garden. The Ottaquiche River runs next to this garden, and it flooded during Tropical Storm Irene and washed away the crops, fencing, and other structures. Some gardeners no longer want to use the space for fear of contamination or more flooding. The Vermont Community Garden Network has given the Kucha Garden a grant to help rebuild. This will be the 2nd season for Kucha's Garden on the Green. The community is still cleaning up from the flood, but members know their garden will be a success because of the support that it receives. Donations and grants ensure the long-term success of the garden, as do labor, tools, and materials provided by generous volunteers. Ann Clemens and Pam Vernon are 2 of the organizers, but Ann says that the garden pretty much organized itself. They do ensure that 2 plots are maintained for the Upper Valley Haven, which provides food for those in need. These 2 plots are maintained by volunteers and a group of kids from a local shelter.
So the last site is Riverside Neighborhood Garden, an urban allotment-style garden founded in 2009 in the Old North End of Burlington. And pictured here is current garden organizer Robin Burnett throwing grape tomatoes into the mouth of fellow gardener and husband Steve in the back. So this photo shows the construction of Riverside's garden space and raised beds. The creation of Riverside emerged out of a partnership between Burlington Housing Authority, Friends of Burlington Gardens, Grow Team 1, volunteer students from CCV, and local neighborhood residents. It's a lot of people. One unique aspect of Riverside Neighborhood Garden is its diverse array of gardener nationalities. With gardeners from Bhutan, Vietnam, and Somalia, the site has truly become a space for intercultural gardening experiences and potluck-style events to emerge. Gardeners have been meeting once a week for the last 2 years at Conversation Club, a group that allows longtime residents and new Vermonters to practice English, learn about one another, and share food knowledge. This club offers a support group to new Vermonters adjusting to life in Burlington.
So these 4 stories are just 4 small dots on the landscape of Vermont that, as a whole, is home to over 300 community gardens, each with a unique story. To explore other community gardens throughout the state, go to burlingtongardens.org or VT Garden Network on Facebook.
And we hope that this presentation has revealed some of the many benefits growing alongside food in Vermont's community gardens. We need to extend a big thanks to the gardens that have participated in our presentation and to Jess Hyman, our project advisor and Vermont Community Garden Network director. Thank you.